Hi, and welcome to another exciting edition of Scarlet Betch. I'm Jason.
And I'm Anthony.
So, obviously, we didn't end up recording any other episodes in the past week after our shout-out episode, which was kind of ridiculous. So, thus being said, we have like 8 bazillion things to talk about this week. So we're gonna try and get started on that. So I guess one of the first things I want to talk about from last week is the conclusion of the Wolverine and Jubilee limited series, or whatever it's called. Yes. Yay, Jubilee! Our favorite. So when last we met, Jubilee was in this weird limbo pocket dimension thing. So, and then
there was a dragon.
There was a dragon, and there's magic, and it's just interesting because, like, I usually really enjoy, like, magical things in comic books, but, like, I don't know, I felt the whole, I mean, yes, I know she's a vampire, and vampires are mythical creatures, but, like, the whole, I don't know, it just felt weird that she's like, oh, and they're magical amulets, and she's fighting a dragon, and
I have to say, though, because you raised the point when we were pre-talking about this, about, like, how did they resolve that vampire woman thing? And I was like, they didn't resolve it. She wasn't in this issue at all, and Wolverine just talked to Emma about her later. Like, this story has a lot of unexplained threats. Like, a lot of the mythology about, like, what the pendants did and, like, why there was this pocket dimension is completely unexplained. And
Isn't this is Emma? I thought that was the weird random vampire lady.
No, that's Emma.
That's Emma? Oh, I didn't read this properly.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You should skip ahead, because that part's boring, and it's basically about Wolverine being like, my dick is longer than yours, and Emma being like, my dick is amazing. To the end where, Rockslide is being all cute, and I'm like, oh, I hope he has a crush on Jubilee. That would be the best thing.
That would be pretty awesome. Wait,
right?
I mean, he kind of does. I mean, I thought that in Nation X, when they moved to Utopia, and all the new X-Men had that, like,
powwow with her on the dock.
Yeah, on the dock. He kind of, like, alluded to having a crush on her.
Oh.
Didn't he? I thought that happened. Maybe not.
Anyway, I kind of missed that.
Long story short, Wolverine Jubilee was, it's interesting, she's developed some new powers, or something strange happened where she got breathed on with a breath weapon by...
So the dragon was gonna breathe fire on her, which is death for vampires! And evidently, because, okay, here's something. I'm pretty sure Dracula, way back in the day, became a fog and, like, decorporealized, I don't know the words, and turned himself into a fog and, like, reassembled himself. But they're acting like no vampires can do that in X-Men.
Yeah.
But Jubilee did it in a moment of, like, great, like, her life was in danger, and she got fire breathed on her, so maybe she just incinerated and then reformed because she was full of Wolverine blood. They kind of leave that open-ended, like, is this something she can do? Is it only something she can do because she's got cheerleader blood or whatever? Thanks, Heroes, for telling us that healing blood can do that. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so it does. I don't know. They left that open, just like they left open a lot of things in this issue. Mm-hmm. But it kind of looks like adjectiveless X-Men this week was all about, like, it was a Jubilee and Xavier story. He told her a story from his past about how he met this good vampire.
Oh, was that the Prelude to Schism thing?
No. Clearly just gets super cute about his relationship with Cyclops.
Okay.
And made me not hate him completely as much as I do.
Professor Xavier or Cyclops?
Xavier.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Cyclops is the cutest. And...
Cutest and most boring.
Oh, you're right. Do interesting things with him, something. I like boring people. Yeah.
Speaking of boring people, Fear itself also came out. So I promised myself that I would not get pulled into another event. Like, I promised myself. I did really good on Siege. I, like, completely avoided Siege. I have no idea what happened in Siege. So I actually bought Fear Itself #1, and I only bought it because Stuart Immonen's art is beautiful. It's like really, really gorgeous to look at. It's
Exactly.
fucking thick.
Catherine,
It's
high
like,
five.
I don't know how many pages this is, but it's definitely more than the standard 24. It's really, really thick, which is great. And Flashpoint can take a Flashpoint, which also came out this week, can take a number from, because Flashpoint, it felt like it was all scenery and setting, and it didn't feel like there was enough. It was all kind of like prep work. And
I have to say, Jeff Johns has all these accolades from Blackest Night, but I think he has horrible problems with pacing.
Yeah, he does. So the thing with Fear Itself, great to look at. But it's not really clear what's going on. Like, yes, the daughter of the Red Skull got the hammer, and now she's this like hybrid godling, and now everybody's getting hammers, and they're like Thor now, and then also everybody's scared, but nobody knows why, and it's just like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on, but the art's great and looks pretty. So I don't know if I didn't buy number 2 this week. I just read it. I just flipped through it. I was like, I'm not gonna waste another $4 on this. So yeah, but going to Flashpoint, which is the much awaited, I guess, event of this year. I was really hoping to enjoy it because Wonder Woman is like back to her old self or whatever. I'm like, that's gonna be fun, and I love alternate universes, and like this is gonna be interesting. I forgot that how little I know about Flash and everything Flash related, so it was all about Barry Allen, and I'm like, what serial? And I was just confused from the get-go because there were all these things that were supposed to be like these really big revelations for Flash people, because like, oh my god, his mom's alive! I'm like, he had a mom? I don't know. Okay.
I thought he was McDuff.
Yeah. And then like, yeah, so there were a lot of like emotional hooks that I was not hooked by because I just don't know anything about this character. But I do like what they did with Batman. I'm not going to say what it is, but it is kind of brilliant. That's very fun. That's very new. But other than that, I'm a little dubious about Flashpoint.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
But speaking of Wonder Woman, I guess we can talk about the new Wonder Woman that came out last 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know when it came out.
Don't try and date it, Jason.
It came out a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next new issue's coming out next week.
I know. I'm so excited for this shit to be over. This shit's.
Oh, really? I guess I'm excited for it to be over, and then I'm excited for it to resolve, because I want some ass kicking and some hybrid Diana-ing, and like some, yeah.
Yeah. But in this issue, we get a lot of clarity about what the frack is going on. Well, not a lot of clarity, but a little more clarity. So Wonder Woman awakens in her hospital bed, and then there's Dr. Etta Candy, who is
and Diana Prince, her alter ego.
So Diana Prince, her alter ego, is there as a nurse, and then Steve Trevor is there also as an attending doctor, I think.
But is he married to Candy in this? Because they get married. They're married.
No, I think Steve Trevor is I thought Steve Trevor had a relationship with Diana Prince in this.
Oh.
There's something there. I can't remember.
Right. Okay, I don't know either.
Yeah.
I do like Steve Trevor as her romantic interest.
What I don't like, I think is ridiculous, is that so I understand that there was a lot of contention over the new Wonder Woman costume. Everyone's like, oh, I hate it, oh, I love it, oh, it's so great, oh, it's so Hollywood, whatever, blah 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 blah. And so I understand that they're like, okay, we'll get rid of the jacket because it looks kind of funky in 80s, and we like the bondagey kind of straps anyway in the arms, that's all cool. But then why give her a cape? It's a blanket. It's a blanket.
I don't think this is staying.
But why would she? She's like, hey, there's this random star-spangled blanket that you gave all my mythical shit. Now I'm gonna wear it like a cape because fabric works like that. Okay.
It's wonder fabric. It's wonderful.
It's stupid. Is what it is. Okay. But I do really like a lot of what happened when we met one of the Fates and the whole thing about like, oh, someone was trying to destroy you, and so I made a new thread for you, and that ate up a lot of my powers. I'm like, oh, things are making a lot more sense now, and this is like a new Diana. It's also the old Diana, and it kind of keeps like the best parts of her and gives her this like epic feel. I'm like, that's okay, cool.
I feel like was it this issue that they recharacterized her as like or was it last?
Yeah.
It was last.
Last issue. Finish your sentence, because I don't know what you're saying.
Recharacterized her as an avatar of all the good qualities of humanity.
Yeah, an avatar of like, I don't know. Yeah, the human spirit.
Yeah, exactly. I really like that a lot, and I think I liked it so much I thought it was in this issue.
Yeah.
But it was a really good issue. That's the thing. Like, this JMS story is working really well, and I think it introduces a lot of like how she freed the Furies, like she freed her foes. That's so Wonder Woman in this. She's like the hero of redemption.
Exactly. Yeah. Sounds great. Actually, I think that's all we might have time for in this episode. We covered a bunch, but yeah. So this time I promise we're gonna continue podcasting for the rest of the week. So stay tuned because we have so much more to talk about. So much more.
So much.